Troy Bro, Director of Percussion here at the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. This is Louisiana All-State Set number 3, Timpani Etude, from Exercises, Etudes, and Solos for the Timpani by Raynor, Carroll. Page 157. This comes from the Adagio and Allegro. Okay, so a few things to note right away. Number one, if you noticed, it calls for wood mallets. Okay, now I don't know if you need to go that hard to wooden mallets, and probably a lot of high school students don't have a good pair of wooden Timpani mallets, but you need to use a hard mallet. Okay, your first inclination may be you see the piano to start and you think you need a soft mallet, but in essence, what you'll be doing is having a great lack of articulation if you play this with a soft mallet. Okay, you need a good, hard, articulate mallet and just play softly. Then as you get louder, you don't have to work for articulation. The hardness of the mallet, the velocity of the stroke provides plenty of articulation. That way, I prefer to use a harder mallet most of the time and work less for articulation, because when I have to work for articulation, you sort of end up killing a little bit of the resonance of the drum. So this way, I let the hardness of the mallet, the velocity of the stroke, do all the articulation, and then the drums can just sing. So use a harder mallet and work less. Great? Okay, also, it starts at Allegro, and if you have the actual original book, you can look back and the Allegro says 124. But then at the end of the second line, it says meno mosso, which means less motion, or minimum, minimal, meno, less motion. So you actually start faster, closer to 124, 120, march tempo. Then as it crescendos into the mezzo forte and the meno mosso, you can pull back the time a slight retard, a little slower. Not a lot, a little slower. But as it crescendos and it gets louder, it kind of opens up and broadens both in volume and tempo. So you should feel an openness and a pulling back. So then when you get to the end, all these double stop figures are not as difficult as if you were playing the original Allegro tempo. Okay? First step, rule number 1 when playing the timpani. Are the drums in tune? Make sure the drums are in tune. The tuning scheme for this piece is fairly simple because we start with a fourth, A to D, which is probably the first interval you ever learned the tune, right? You probably learned, "Here comes the bride," right? Or it's do, sol, do, which is the most common interval you've heard all of your life, right? So many things. There's no more popular interval. 1, 5, 1. Great. Cool. Then from there, we go D up to, we have an F sharp. Okay? Make sure you look, notice in the key signature, there's an F sharp, C sharp. We're in the key of D major, so the F is F sharp. Cool? So just work on learning to sing the first 4 notes of a major scale. Do, do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do, re, mi. And that's your F sharp. Do, re, mi. Okay? Then the bottom note is also F sharp, so it's the same pitch, an octave lower. There it is. Okay? Then one other thing about tuning, okay, make sure you notice the very last measure, the bottom drum has to go down to D, which is an octave lower than this drum, okay? Now, hopefully, what I would do is before I play the etude and I get this D in tune, I would check to see if the gauge is correct. Okay? And if not, make sure you move the tab and put it where it's supposed to be. Because when you're playing, you don't have time to listen to tune the note. You're rolling. So as you're rolling, you have to look over here at the gauge, move it to the D, and there you go, okay? It's okay to use the gauges, but you have to make sure the gauges are correct, okay? So then when you get to the last note, play the octave Ds, muffle the A, then go back and muffle the Ds. And you try to do that all in a quarter note. So I'll play the last few bars again. And go. So strike the Ds, muffle the A while the Ds resonate together, then go back and muffle the D. Then if you need to, come back and quickly muffle the A if it's still ringing a little bit, okay? Last note, one note about sticking toward the end. We have all of, where the double stop figures start happening. Okay, when I go down to the 32, the bottom drum, I play those leading with the left hand, right? Because I have to quickly get back up here with the right hand. Also, to get back to here, okay? If you're leading that with the right hand, you have to get the right hand all the way back over here in time. But if you play it with the left hand, much simpler, okay? You can play these with the left hand, that's all, if you like. But it just feels natural to me to play. So, right, left, right. Left, right, left. Okay? All right. Hope that helps. Good luck. Go practice.